Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I request all of you to kindly be seated. Please take your seats. We are about to start in a short while from now. I request all of you to kindly be seated. Please take your seats. Please put your phones on silent mode. Make yourself comfortable. Be seated. We are all set to begin. Well, I request people who are still standing to kindly occupy the front seats first. There are seats in the front also which are vacant. Since you are here before, so why not take this advantage of sitting at the front seat? So requesting you all to kindly come and be seated, occupy the seats, and of course, please put your phones on silent mode or maybe airplane mode. Ladies and gentlemen, requesting you all to kindly be seated. Please take your seats. We are all set to begin. I request all of you to settle down. We are all set to begin. Namaskar, good evening, a very, very warm welcome to all of you present here. My name is Veronica and I'm super thrilled to welcome you all here on behalf of Exicom. Well, I would like to express my gratitude to all our customers, friends from media, and the influencers who are present here with us today. And now that you're here, we'll promise that tonight is going to be full of surprises, super thrilling and exciting. Well, since I'm mentioning about the gratitude that we have for all of you, let us just begin by creating some energy in the hall before we go ahead any further. Can we have a round of applause for all the lovely people who are present here? Well, that's the most general thing an anchor would do, come on the stage and make everybody applaud. Great. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, moving ahead, as you can see, we are naming it as 2.0. No brownie points for guessing. Well, let me tell you all that why this is 2.0, because this time we are taking two giant steps in our journey in the EV landscape. Two big steps. And once again, I would like to thank all of you because you all will be a part of this celebration with us, because this celebration is for all of us. Now, we all know that technology is an ever-evolving landscape. We all have seen how technology has evolved over the period of time. You know, if you look back, don't go, in the 90s. Come here in the early 2000s when the internet was just launched. We used to have those dial-up connections with those wires and everything, those LAN wires, if I'm not wrong. And now you see, we have these fiber broadband, and we know what the speed is. What is the speed that we are getting? So we can see this major leap. So the technology is evolving at the rate like never seen before. And this is exactly the same case when we talk about the EV sector. And all the credit for this goes to the brilliant infrastructure that we have. We have some amazing minds who are doing some spectacular innovation. And most importantly, the trust you people have put in the EVs, the trust the nation have put in the EVs. So the future of EVs is certainly bright. And now that we're talking a lot about energy, and tonight you will be listening this word, energy optimization, energy channelization, a lot of words related to energy. But, since we're talking a lot about energy, let us create some energy in this hall. So we'll do a quick energizer with all of you, a very simple one. So I'm going to count 20. Now this 20 counts will be full of energy. Since we all know, bahar chahe kitni energy ho, we all are the powerhouse of energy. So let us bring that energy that we have in ourselves. Very simple thing that we have to do. Bring both the hands gently in front of your face. Yes, both the hands. Yes. Yeah, we can do namaste first. Namaste. Great. And now what we have to do, we just have to clap our hands. Clap, clap. Great. Now pause. Now I'm going to count 20 and I will be changing speed. So it'll be slow and then I will go up, up, up and up. Okay. Are we ready? Are we ready? Great. All right. Let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Rub your palms, rub your palms, rub your palms. Great. And take a pause and feel that energy in your hands. Keep your palms closer. Yes. Feel that energy in your hands. Great. So we as human beings have so much of energy in ourselves. There's so much that we can give. But yes, there's so much that we can also take from the things around us. And that's exactly what we are here for. And we just did namaste to each other. Let me translate it also, since we are in India. That's a way that we greet each other. And it translates to the divine in me bows down to the divine in you, so that together we can co-create, we can coexist, and we can co-learn. And that's what we are here for. We are here to co-learn, help each other grow better and stronger. Now, moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, since we have a lot of energetic people here. This is the time that I call upon two very energetic leaders on the stage to quickly come here and take us through. And also, there's a surprise. With these two dynamic, energetic leaders, we have a young, budding leader who is the future user of EV. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as I welcome Mr. Anand Nahata, Managing Director and CEO, and Anshuman Divyanshu, CEO, Eve's Business Executive. And with them, we have a very special person, very special one. Take your name loudly. Kishim. With us, we have Kishim. Please put your hands together for the future EV user. Okay. So before both of them join us, I think you are already here and you've already prepared something. Oh my God, are you going to take my job? No. Oh, you're saying I don't know, don't do that, yeah? Okay, so what are you going to say to these people?
Let it be a surprise.
All right, so over to you.
Hello everyone, my name is Kishim Nahata, proud student, future EV car user of my dad's, and current reluctant driver of what can only be described as a vintage Toyota that coughs louder than an 85-year-old when it starts. Some of my school friends already have EVs, some don't. Some pretend they don't just to sound cool. But me, I care about the environment and also not being mistaken about a delivery guy in that old car. So here I am, representing the planet, the future of green mobility, and also trying very hard to convince my dad that I deserve an EV. Dad, if you're listening, please, the planet needs this, and so does my social life. Thank you, everyone. And fingers crossed that I don't have to arrive at school tomorrow in a car that predates YouTube. Thank you.
Arif. Papa, don't forget me. Also, even I need an EV.
Well, this energy is, it's crazy. Can we have a round of applause? And Anand, I'm sure you've heard both of them. They both want an EV. Great. Please put your hands together for Mr. Anand Nahata, Managing Director and CEO. Also joining him on the stage, Mr. Anshuman Divyanshu, CEO at Eve's Business Executive. Join your hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, everyone. My kids are still distracting me. But first, let me say what an absolute joy it is to see this room packed with energy, which is very fitting for an EV charger launch, isn't it? Now, I promise to keep this short, under 10 amps. Minutes. Because the only thing worse than a speech that drags is a charger that drags. As CEO of Exicom, this is my first product launch, and I hope this is one of many going forward. But today marks not just launch of a new product, but a new chapter for us. A chapter fueled by collaboration, innovation, and long-term vision. Today, we want to showcase to you our amazing line of new fast DC charger products in both all-in-one and distributed charger category, which we hope you, as well as your customers, will absolutely love. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Anand. It's truly an exciting evening, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank each one of you for being present with us for this momentous occasion. So while we are going to have some product launches today from Exicom umbrella, we have also made sure that this becomes more an industry collaboration event. We have some insightful sessions based on some of the topical issues which we, all of us as stakeholders in electric mobility industry are facing. More importantly, not to make it too boring, with a lot of gyan, we also have a very, very big surprise, which is a harmony band, which is going to play a symphony, which is going to touch your hearts. And at the same time, we have created a light-hearted banter moment, which again is, you will witness during the course of the event. But more importantly, while we of course had a big warm round of applause earlier, I think each person who is present in this room has been a part of this ecosystem I see some very, very old faces, some Bhishma Pitamas of mobility industry being present here. Manoj ji, Avdesh ji, Kartikeya, Omkar, yeah, Rajiv, yeah, so a lot of people. And this, the power of this group is visible the way the industry has transformed. So essentially, I will want all of you to give a warm round of applause for yourself, the people who are shaping the mobility revolution in the country. Thank you so much. I think everybody should take this time to, sit back, have a relaxed and engaging conversation with each other. And of course, naturally, since we are launching some products, we'll love to have your feedback. And yeah, let's start the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Over to you, Veronica.
Thank you, Anshuman, thank you, Anand. All right, since you've mentioned that, tonight is going to be about harmony. There are other things also, but whatever you said make me, think what actually harmony looks like. No, not looks like, how harmony sounds like. And to bring here the idea of harmony, to make that idea audible, we've invited a band that lives and breathes harmony. How many jazz fans in here? Well, I love jazz, a lot of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I've told you tonight is going to be full of surprises, full of exciting things. So put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome Syncopation, India's leading contemporary jazz and funk band on the stage. Can we have a round of applause as we welcome Syncopation? All right, so I'm back here. Meanwhile, they're doing this setup, so, I want to keep this energy intact. Well, okay, we'll do a quick task again, once again. Well, a lot of you don't know each other. A lot of people are sitting next to each other, but they still don't know each other. We'll do a quick task without getting up from your places. We all know how to give a high five, do we? Can you give me a high five, all of you? Yes, great, okay. A high 10, how will be a high 10? Great, lovely, great. So now what we have to do, you have to look at the person who is sitting right to you and, listen first. And give that person a high 10, change that energy, give that energy. And with a high 10, say yes. That's the word that you have to say, yes. Okay, on the count of 3, all of you will do it together. I want to listen to those yeses. So, ऐसे नहीं करना है, उसको लग जाएगी. Okay, no? All right, we'll do it on the count of 3. We'll do it right side first and then left side, okay? Great, 3, 2, 1. Yes की आवाज ही नहीं आई. I want to listen to your yes. Okay, once again, 3, 2, 1, high 10. 3, 2, 1, high 10. Once again, to the right, louder. So you also have to give him a high 10. Yeah. Okay, we'll begin. All of you, please be a part of it. Let's do it together, all of you, okay? I just want to make you all awake before we start with syncopation. Okay, let's do it one more time. 3, 2, 1. You skipped it again. Oh, he was there, okay. 3, 2, 1. All ready? So there. Okay. Oh, jazz. Whom should I speak to? You, sir? You like jazz? Great. What is one thing that you really like about jazz music, if I may ask you?
I'm a drummer, so I play drums, so that's the reason why I like. I mean, of course, how to play jazz is one of the most difficult kind of music to play, so that's the reason why I like it.
What's your name, sir?
I'm Manik.
So Manik, you work and you play drums as well. Well, it's very important to keep your passions alive. Anybody else who's a musician here? Any other musicians in the house? Oh yeah, you're a musician too? How many things do you do? What do you play?
Drums.
You also play drums. Great, so you're gonna enjoy this for sure. Great, how many other jazz fans in here? Jazz. Or? Nobody wants to speak, I know. Any music, okay. Leave aside jazz. Great. Leave aside to kar hi nahi sakte. Jazz is right here, happening right in front of us. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting in front of you, Syncopation. Please put your hands together as we welcome them on the stage. Go. Wow. Amazing, amazing. Something which is perfect for today's event. Thank you so much, Rishi. Can we have a round of applause for all of them once again? And you've heard Rishi and all of them. So Rishi, I request you to kindly step forward and say a few words and tell us something about you and the band. Please, please give him a round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. Lovely to have all of you here, and great to be playing for all of you. So we are Syncopation. We're a jazz band, an original jazz band, and we've been playing music for almost 12 years now. And all the music that you heard tonight, whatever we got to play, very little now, is all original music written by the band. You know, and the beauty about this kind of music is the harmony factor, right? Which kind of comes together with what the event is. So just like in jazz, you have different notes and you keep adding little things on top of each thing to make it a harmony and then to make it something larger. So I guess that's what's happening tonight as well, I'm assuming, is the harmony is getting exploded onto the people and onto this world. And our best wishes to Exicom for doing this and for having us. Thank you so much, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the music. And do follow us. We are called Syncopation Jazz on Instagram. So if you happen to be on Instagram, please do follow us and love the music. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you. Maybe you can also introduce all the members of the band so that we all will cheer them up also. Yeah. Are they here? Okay. You can just name them.
Sure. So we had Divij on bass, we had Nikhil on the drums, and I'm Rishi on guitars. We had two saxophones, so one is tenor, and the other one is alto. And we had Agniya on tenor and Rishabh on alto. So that's pretty much what the setup is for tonight. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for filling in the energy in this room. Thank you so much, Rishi, and thank you, Syncopation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you all are absorbed in the beautiful jazz energies. Well, a few moments from now, we are actually inching towards a very special moment. I think we all are gathered here for this very moment. But another 1 minute, we'll take you towards that. But before that, since we're talking about harmony, let us try to create some harmony here with all of you, okay? I'm back here with another energizer and a task for all of you. So I'm going to divide you in two teams. This will be team A and this will be team B, okay? So we'll try to create some music, some harmony with claps or anything that you want to do. Maybe something like this, maybe a clap or anything, okay? So when I'm going to say A, you have to do a single clap or a single click, okay? Let's do it together. A. Yes, all of you together. We're talking about harmony. We're talking about synchronization, so let's do it together. A, B. Oh, they're team B. A, B, A, B. Great, perfect. Now we'll do A, clap, B, click. Okay? Can we do the click? Yes, lovely. Great. Let's do it. A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. Lovely. Let's take it a step forward. A, clap, B, click, A, click, B, clap. Okay? Too much for the brain to understand? Very simple. Let's try it. Okay. A, B, A, B. Yes, some of you are still getting it there. But yes, we are able to create that harmony. Let's do it. Let's do it one more time. A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. Lovely, lovely. Give yourself a round of applause. Great. You know, life is full of music. You can create music from anywhere and anything. And since what you've heard is exactly the glimpse of what we will be showcasing now, you can see this. There will be a surprise for all of you in a few moments from now. it is the time that we explore that harmony within and outside us, which is right here, and that's what we are here for. So are we all set? Are we all ready? Are we all excited? Yes? Yes, yes, okay, more or less, yes, okay. So it's the time, put your, excitement at a high level because this is the time we are turning the tables. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, I'm gonna lift my energy a little high because this is the most precious moment. This is something we all are here for. Ladies and gentlemen, bringing to you the first glimpse of Harmony Direct 2.0, unveiling the Harmony Direct 2.0. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. A thunderous round of applause as we unveil the Harmony Direct 2.0 for all of you. Louder, louder, louder. Ladies and gentlemen, Harmony Direct 2.0 in its full glory. And now is the time that we have a look at this quick video. Can we have the AV, please? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Harmony Direct 2.0. Now that you've seen how it looks, it is the time to understand it even further. It is the time to take a dive in, a visual deep dive into the product. And for that, I would like to request Mr. Anant to kindly join us on the stage. Please put your hands together for Anant, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. So, I hope you like the product, the first visual as well as the video. But before we take a deep dive in the new features, let me rewind for a moment. As Exicom, as part of the ecosystem, all of you have deployed chargers across the country. And one thing became quite clear even after this large deployment, that numbers do not tell the full story. As far as public infrastructure is concerned, reliability is a concern. It's poor compared to global standard, albeit it's improving. User experience has always been a test of patience and endurance. And in the age of AI and digital twins, we still rely on an army of field engineers to manually reset chargers like it's Windows 95. So when we were contemplating all these issues in our boardroom, instead of assuming we knew everything and we knew the answers, we decided to be curious. Why these certain things were the way they were? So we did a little experiment, we hit the road and went to multiple charging sites across different use cases in various cities across India to study user behavior and ground reality. And the results were enlightening, also sometimes mildly horrifying as well. What we realized, as the pundits say, the most complicated thing is to keep things simple. Let me give you a couple of examples which I witnessed myself. There were these two guys from a nearby town in Haryana who had come to charge at a public charging station on MG Road in the NCR area with a brand new Tata Nexon. I was watching them from a distance. At first, they stared at the charger. Then they poked at a few buttons. Then they played with their phones trying to start the charging session. but at the end, still couldn't figure out how to start the charging session and just left. At another station, there was this woman who tried to start charging session without plugging in the gun. She kept getting errors, but she kept trying. But in this case, persistence was not productive. At a fleet hub that I visited in Vasant Vihar, the drivers just threw the charging plugs on the ground because the holder was broken. And it was not their error, and even the poor CPO, they couldn't do anything because they didn't probably even know about this. So, and I can go on, but we saw it all, the confusion, the friction, and the frustration. But more importantly, the opportunity. So we absorbed all this, and we acted upon these insights. And a lot of insights that you will see in the product are reflected based on these learnings and feedbacks from all of you. Like an EV owner, myself, feel proud of their electric vehicle. We also want them to feel very proud of their charging experience. Not just proud, but even at peace with their charging experience. So with that, let me deep dive into a couple of features. We're going to be showcasing about 7 to 10 features over here. The first feature I want to talk about is the Harmony controller, the Harmony OS as we call it. This is India's first indigenously developed EV charger controller platform. Let me repeat, this is first time indigenously developed EV charger controller platform. Harmony OS, as you can see in the highlighted photo, is the brain behind the charger. It flexibly manages every function with precision. It controls and monitors every charging session, dynamically balances power, runs real-time diagnostics, and more importantly, adapts to any scenario which the charger may throw at it, ensuring seamless charging, smooth experience for users, and efficient operations for the CPOs. This internal powerhouse delivers reliability and performance, which will always keep your charging station ahead of the curve. As you can see in this photo, it's a technical photo. We tried to make it a little bit more creative. But this controller is built on global standards. The Harmony OS automates the entire charging process by doing 3 things. Number 1, interacting with all the components inside the charger. Number 2, interacting with the car. Number 3, interacting with the cloud. It ensures interoperability with any electric vehicle on the road with intuitive user experience. When I talk about interoperability, everyone talks about it. We went a step ahead. We went to Austria at Techathon and ensured our charger is compliant to OCA standard. At this event, we test our chargers with hundreds of vehicles, use cases, right from big Volvo trucks to small compact cars, and hundreds of use cases, negative, positive, are thrown at the charger to test interoperability. And if you pass all of that, that's when you get OCA certified. So we have passed OCA certification. Again, I don't know, but I think we are the first company to have this certification, first Indian company to have this certification. Next slide. As you can see over here, in the middle, this is showing the architecture of the Harmony OS. And if we see in the middle, the core OS does important functions, including V2G communication, charge automation, circuit control, and most importantly, session management. Then we have an application layer which handles all the native applications developed by Exicom itself, which is OCPP, plug-in charge, different payment options, user interface, and even site configurator. All this while, we used to get complex configuration requirements from customers like yourselves, and we used to configure them in the charger, sometimes rightly, sometimes wrongly, which caused issues in the field. We're going to unveil a web-based configurator, where as customers, you can directly put your configuration for the charger, and it will automatically show up in your warehouses with that configuration. So a lot more features, and we are very excited to put this controller in all new Gen 2 chargers. Not just the core technology features, this is a controller which expands its use over multiple use cases, not just a standalone charger, but for a distributed system, for a DC wall box, for a charger whenever we have with 4 plugs, and even for complex scenarios of something which we call as a DC ring, which we'll just hear in a moment. It can work in any of these scenarios. So we hope with Harmony OS, we'll be able to give you more control, more ability to configure, and just a great experience. Thank you. The next feature, this is one of my favorites, right? Like controller is good, but it's technical, right? This is absolutely going to help a lot of you. Harmony Net. If you're a CPO, or let's say even an OEM dealership, you always have to make very important choices around how much power you want to provide and how many connectors. And it's not easy to do this because it's not easy to forecast future behavior and future utilization. And you're always trying to find that right mix between current needs and being future ready. Well, we have made your job slightly easier. With a new feature called Harmony Net, now 2 chargers can intelligently pool their power together and dynamically allocate it across any of the 4 plugs. Yes, it is 2 chargers working like a distributed system with 4 plugs, but with lower footprint and lower cost. And I want to give you one data point as well. All over the world, the average number of connectors at a site is between 3 and 4. So we assume even in India, a lot of these sites would have up to 4 connectors. With Harmony Net, you can realize this solution and also make your chargers work efficiently, whether it's peak traffic time or lean times. So say hello to powerful and flexible charging with Harmony Net. I just want to show it through a video which will make it even clearer. So you see 2 chargers sharing power dynamically allocating to 4 vehicles based on real-time demand. Obviously, if you have only 1 charger, it still does dynamic allocation in steps of 30 kilowatt. Yeah. So again, I repeat, if you have a situation where your requirement is only 4 connectors, but you still want dynamic allocation across the 4 plugs. Imagine 2 60 kilowatt chargers, but ability to provide 120 kilowatt in any connectors and share the power between these 2 chargers dynamically based on demand. So, CPOs, do you like this feature? Do you think this is going to be helpful? Yeah. So the next feature that I'm going to talk about is energy efficiency, particularly to do with reactive power losses. This is something which we have learned as an industry. In our early journey, probably we were also at fault. But this is one of the biggest topics for all the charge point operators. They are paying for power which they are not using. We have introduced technology in Gen 2 chargers which are able to cut reactive power losses. Right? So in currently available EV chargers in the market, all the power converters switch on together, no matter the demand is high or low. That's similar to turning all the taps in the house to fill a glass of water. The result, definitely not good. Excessive reactive power for which the utilities charge a hell lot of money. In our new design, only required number of power converters switch on based on demand. No waste, no excess, just smart, efficient power delivery. This ensures you're not paying for electricity you never actually used. Again, let's see this in a video. Thank you. So this will really help. Both these features, Harmony Net and cutting reactor power losses, will really help your station economics. The last feature which I'll talk about before passing it to my colleagues is multi-stack smart charging. Right? So for network operators, there are so many variables you can tweak to enhance utilization as well as give the user the required user experience. One such example how you can do this is multi-stack level smart charging. Instead of being stuck with one fixed charging profile, in Harmony 2.0, you can define multiple charging strategies to meet your goals. Based on user segmentation, time of day, or day of the week, the system smartly prioritizes and even adapts and executes these charging strategies or profiles without any manual intervention. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have a 60 kilowatt charger. For some reason, you have set the power to 50 kilowatt because that's the connection you have from the grid. And the charger works at 50 kilowatts 24/7, 7 days a week. But then you want to add another profile that on weekends, I want this charger to give full 60 kilowatt. You can do that. Then you can add a third profile that, hey, if I have a priority user or a premium user, I want him to get 60 kilowatt no matter when he's coming. And like this, you can add up to 8 profiles, which can, as per priority given to those profiles, act upon giving the charger, giving the power to the charger to deliver the output in sync with those strategies. Today, 99% of the chargers do not work on the smart algorithm, and they just work on a base power delivery. But with these kind of features, you can tweak your network, tweak your experience, A, to save cost, B, to enhance user experience. Again, let me play the video so to understand this better. Like the example I gave, multiple charging profiles acting in a charger simultaneously based on your logic. So with this, I would like to pass the stage to Khushbu to take you through some user-centric features. Thank you.
Can you give me the other ticker? Can you give me the other?
Thank you, Anant. A very warm evening to all of you. I'm Khushbu, and I will talk you through about Harmony Direct through the lens of an EV user. Thinking about the people who need to actually use EV chargers takes me back to what Anant said a moment ago about some difficult real-life user experiences. That hassle, that friction, that complexity is what we seek to turn on its head when we think about these user-centric features. First of which is an intuitive, multilingual UI UX. So as you can see that on the screen. And do you know some tech that just gets you? You know that feeling? That's what it is like using the Harmony 2.0's touchscreen. It's like picking up your smartphone, bright, colorful, so easy to tap or swipe your way through. Now, not everyone is a tech wizard, but when you can set the screen in the language of your preference, Tamil, Kannada, French, or any of the 8 languages that we have in Harmony 2.0, This is an experience made just for you. There will be nearly 500,000 EV users in India by 2030, and a bulk of these users will be new users. Harmony 2.0's interface is designed to be a simple and natural experience for all new EV users. Plus, we have these live LED bars on both sides of the glass screen which light up to show the charging status with just a glance. So you don't have to squint, you don't have to guess how your car is charging right now. It's these little touches that make charging feel less like a chore and more like a breeze no matter where you are in your EV charging journey. So let's look at the video. Some glitch. Can you play the video from there, please? We're not able to find the video? Yeah, this video. With Harmony Direct 2.0, your charger literally speaks your language clearly and beautifully. Simple navigation, multilingual magic, and real-time updates at a glance. All of these will make sure that your customers leave with a smile and keep coming back to your charging station. Now, next up in this journey of revealing user-centric features, we have a feature called flexible authentication. Sorry. Just give me a moment. Yeah, sorry. Can you also hand me the alternate ticker? Yeah, this is I think not working. So if it doesn't work, Hardik, you handle it. Yeah. You know that awkward dance at a charging station when you can't figure out whether to plug in the connector first to your car or whether to authenticate the charging? Well, I'm feeling as awkward right now because what I'm trying to do is not happening through this gadget. But yeah, Harmony Direct 2.0 tackles that awkward sequence dilemma with a user-friendly approach, allowing drivers to either plug in or authenticate first without a hitch. This flexibility is a big win for ease of use. Drivers get a seamless experience, and CPOs, well, they just enjoy seeing their customers smiling instead of scratching their heads. So let's just play the video, hoping it plays. Yes, it does. right way with Harmony 2.0 when it comes to flexible authentication. Be it the UI UX or the flexible authentication, the core thought behind each of these features is user centricity. We want to make EV charging as simple and as natural as possible and basically eliminate any needless friction in the charging journey. Continuing this chain of thought forward, we have another beautiful looking feature for you. Custom backlit logo. It makes your brand shine. I remember when I first visited an EV charging station for the first time, as a person with mild OCD, the first thing that caught my eye was the chipped edges and worn out finish of some of the vinyls on the chargers. I wasn't a part of the EV industry till then, and as a user I wondered if these chargers were in good shape or not. Now, with this aesthetic and customizable backlit logo in Harmony 2.0, your brand will both shine and stick without the hassle of wrapping or re-wrapping. For a charge point operators, it's a way to make your stations instantly recognizable, showcasing your brand with a clear and inviting glow. With this customizable backlit logo, your charger turns into a branding real estate, as you can see, in the Harmony 2.0 displayed right here in front of you. And it helps you ring in more mind share and hence more wallet share. Now we get on to another feature, which is called ambient lighting. So we believe that chargers should do more than just function. They should feel warm and inviting. The backlit branding, the LED bars, the intuitive screens are all tuned towards creating that experience for the users. Harmony Direct 2.0 goes a little further beyond these features and adds to these features a classy ambient light panel, as you can see, on the top of the charger. This is synced to the Earth's natural rhythm. It creates a cozy vibe at night for drivers. This lighting panel boosts visibility and the sense of safety, and charge point operators get that premium and eye-catching look that will pull the customers onto their charging stations. With this nice addition, charging feels safer, more approachable, and therefore more likely to be used, especially in the dark. Moreover, all the finer details and user-centric features that we talked about come together in perfect harmony to create that warm and intuitive experience for EV customers. Up till now, we have seen the tech behind the charger, which Anant explained to all of us, and we then talked about the user-centric design. I would now invite Anshuman to talk about how Harmony 2.0 can move the needle on reliability and station economics. Thank you.
Sorry? Okay, yeah, thanks, Karthikeya. In fact, before we start, I have a disclaimer to make. I have many friends, so during the course of my next 15 minutes, whenever I'm going to speak, so I'm going to use some names of my friends. Now, their names may be related to some people who are in this room, but it's purely coincidental. So please don't take it to heart. Yeah, so in fact, far too long, if you look at, the EV charger screen, and all of us have been looking at the EV charger screen for quite some time, that what do we do with this EV charger screen? So I have a friend, Rajiv, right? And Rajiv loves marketing. Rajiv loves marketing. So Rajiv told me, hey man, if I look at an EV charger screen today, in 2025, I feel like it has become a sidekick in a Govinda movie, who is completely silent. Nobody is giving any attention to him, and apps have taken over. And yeah, man, that's correct, because all of us have seen post-implementation of auto charge by most of the CPOs, the EV charger screen is hardly getting utilized. So we thought, what do we do? I mean, somebody gave a blind idea or a wild suggestion, let's remove the screen from the charger itself. And we thought, of course, yeah, that is something which we can do. But then we thought, what do we do so that we can make it much more livelier? Because this is the touch point. This is the touch point when customer comes to a charging station, he sees the charger and he sees the screen. Can we do something better wherein the interaction or engagement with customers can be improved? And this is what we have done. So today, in Harmony 2.0 chargers, we will be able to put the power of visual images for a better customer interaction. Let's look at this small video, which will give you a glimpse of what we are trying to do. And of course, my marketing team has taken creative liberties, but yeah, just go with the flow. So basically, all of us who are in business of dealing with customers, we know that every touch point is important. So when we have got such an important touch point like EV charger screen, why to waste it? And why not use it to engage, interact, and make communication with the customer? So this is what we have done. And I'm pretty sure that most of you will want to try it out at your station, because your marketing teams can go crazy trying to design creatives on, what do we do next. In fact, coming on to the next feature, over last 1 year, I have become, I think, with one of my friends, Karthikeyan, I have become a sort of PhD holder in cable management system. Because the only discussions we used to have, cable management, cable retractor. And it's not only Karthikeyan, my friend Karthikeyan was also behind my life, that, what do you do better? But I will just give you an anecdote. So I have a friend, and I'm not that fit person. I see a lot of fit people in the room, right? And one of the fittest people I have known is my friend Rubin. And Rubin has, very nice muscles, very fit body. And I told him, hey Rubin, what do you do? I'm not getting time. I'm not able to do, exercise, create a healthy body. Rubin says, man, I will tell you the biggest secret. And mind you, for people, audience in the room, this is a very big secret. He said, I don't do anything. I go to a charging station, lift the gun, up and down, twist, turn, and yes, because the guns are heavy, right? And you don't know how to use it. You don't know how to use it, right? So that's how things are. And this, I think Neha is not here, or maybe, she is here, right? And we have seen a lot of data points. That a lot of women drivers are, now coming and using the charging station. The chargers have remained same in terms of, how they do cable management. So what we have done, and hopefully all of you will like it, to come with a dual arm cable management system. Just have a look at the visual. So what you just saw now, ladies and gentlemen, was India's first mechanically enabled cable extension and retraction system, which does what it is supposed to do, make the life of EV users simpler. And I will actually invite, post this presentation is over, for some of you to, just see and try it out to witness the difference. These are very, very small things, but when we are looking at a large-scale adoption, the end goal is that how do we make the life of customers easier? Because if people feel that things are better, convenient, naturally, more number of EV buyers are going to come into the market. In fact, taking a leap forward in terms of, what do we do more? Because ultimately, we are talking a lot about UI, UX, apart from, of course, the OS. So how do you place the gun holders? So if you see, how Exicom has transitioned. When we started our chargers, we had guns on the sides of the charger. We thought that what do we do next? We did some research. We thought that, and there was a lot of data to say that guns placed on the front are better from a user handling perspective. So we added that. Last year, we went ahead. In fact, we introduced pass standards in our chargers, which essentially are European standards. Which means that essentially when a charger is designed, any differently able person can come and essentially uplift the gun and use it very, very easily. But do we stop? No, we do not stop. And do our customers stop? No, because customers always want more. Because we Indians always say, ye dil mange more, right? So this is what we have done now. While this the plug holder or the gun holder, what we call, colloquially, is a very, very small device, but it has a sensor inside. There is a lot of mechanicals which have gone beside it. So once you uplift this gun from the charger, it is a very, very smooth and I will say seamless experience. So you do not actually feel that, you are uplifting a gun. So it's very simple. You lift it, you place it. So please try it out. Please try it out. And just have a look at it in terms of video. And what we have done, because we have put in a sensor inside the gun holder, so when somebody uplifts a gun, so he gets a video on the screen saying that, gun has been uplifted. So at least we are trying to build that message or prompt to the customer that before he leaves the station, he also needs to plug in the gun. Why? Because, all of us operate charging stations. All of us are users of charging stations. Many places we said that the gun is lying idle on the floors of the chargers, which means this is a safety issue, which means that this is going to impact the charger, the cable and the gun life. So essentially, Harmony 2.0 is about simplicity because sometimes you need to do simple things, and they matter. They matter in life. Now I will come on to, I will say essentially what is one of the most important and topical things which all of us face, right? Remote monitoring system. Now, yes, some of our customers are aware about remote monitoring system. But, I will say that now we know our chargers better. Till a year back, as a charger OEM, once I had sold the charger, I was not aware of what was happening inside the charger. In last 1 year, we have been, enabling a lot of sensors, which we've already shown, and we have now more than 50 sensors built inside the charger, which are sending data to our servers very, very seamless, on a seamless manner. And because we require data, and if data is there, you can do a lot of things. Mr. Ambani, a couple of years back, said that, data is the new oil. And what we say now at Exicom is data is the new uptime. Because if you have data, you can ensure uptime. If as a charger OEM do not have data, you will never be able to promise uptime for your customers. So what we did in case of a remote monitoring system, essentially, let's have a look. Yeah. So basically, this is again, we are, I will say, one of the few Indian companies, or maybe the only company, who has gone to a level wherein now we are able to predict behaviors, predict patterns. And yeah, this has always been possible and also been possible thanks to the trust which some of our customers reposed on us on allowing access to those chargers. And naturally, we will want all our other customers to allow us the same, because our purpose as a charger OEM is to ensure reliability. And reliability is the only single moment of truth in this whole industry. Everybody wants reliability. OEM wants reliability. Customer wants reliability. CPO wants reliability. So that's the only moment of truth. Otherwise, everything else is a sham, right? And I will give you some instances, or just to give you where we have reached today and what we have started doing. I will just give you some insights on that. Running a charging business in many ways a detective business, and especially ops team members who are there will relate to it, because something has happened, you're not sure, then you call the charger OEM, you call your local guy, you call your landlord. So you have to deal with so many people first just to understand what has happened. Yes, CMS has some alerts, CMS has some alarms, but all of us know and realize that the CMS alarms and alerts are not enough for you to run your operations in a most professional manner. I mean, a typical case, 20% of the times and most of the complaints which we receive and which we receive across all our customers, which all of us will acknowledge, somebody has gone to the charging station, saw this red fancy looking button, which he thought that, I need to press, whether he's a charger user or he's not a charger user. So he pressed the button, he fulfilled his wish of pressing that button, he moved on. CPO is not aware that the emergency button has been pressed. Yes, there is an alert in CMS, but is somebody monitoring that alert on a real-time basis? No, nobody is monitoring it. Or if you have to monitor, you require so many people, right? Looking at each of the data points which is coming in the charger. What we have done now, a remote, somebody puts switches on the emergency button. Immediately an SMS alert and an email alert will go to the respective CPO, to the persons who have been defined by the CPO, so that there is no time lag. I mean, my personal experience is because of emergency button press issues, sometimes it has taken 24 to 30 hours for somebody to actually realize and take corrective action. Why? Because information was not available in real time, information was not available when it was required. Now this very, very simple feature helps in improvement of uptime and reliability of chargers by 5%. So 5% your network uptime can simply improve by this simple feature. And this is what we have already enabled for most of our customers, wherein based on their requirement, these alerts will go. I think people can appreciate, especially the ops team can really appreciate that how much this is handy in terms of managing the operation. Coming on to another use case. So we have created something what we call internally, for want of getting anything, I will say sexy looking in terms of name, which is rule engine. So very very crudely put, rule engine. Now what rule engine does? Rule engine does everything. So whatever you want from the rule engine will be able to deliver it to you. Let's take the example that most of the charging stations in India are unmanned. So somebody has gone to a charging station and opened the door. And people do it, right? So the system today will again generate an alert and intimate to the CPO that at X location, your charging station, the door has been opened. Now, on the top of it, because if a door has been opened and it is an unauthorized opening of the door, it's a safety issue. Because you want to secure your assets, at the same time, you do not want any kind of fatality to happen because these are DC fast chargers. Somebody, tries to use it or somebody tries to tinker around with it, may call a fatality also. So it is a very, very severe issue for anybody who is running the business. In case of rule engine, now we have put in a scenario wherein you can say that if a door is unauthorized and it has been opened for more than 2 minutes time, the complete charger will shut. The complete charger will shut. At least first level you have taken a corrective action that you have avoided any kind of accidents which may happen for, I will say, reasons. In India there are a lot of things happen for which there are no reasons, right? So we have done that. So I've just given you, 2 examples of, what we have started doing right now. And the beauty of remote monitoring and our rule engine is, like today we have more than 20 scenarios where we can, run multiple type of automated simulations wherein you need not do anything. A simple example is firmware update, right? If you have to do a firmware update, I tell it to our customers that we have come with a new software release, customer tests it, then he has to ask somebody in his team to, do a firmware update for all the chargers at a particular time. Through remote monitoring system, all the firmware updates you can schedule. Like every 1st of June, 1st of August, night 1 a.m., all chargers should be updated automatically. Bingo, don't do anything. Sit back, relax, all chargers will be updated. You need not do anything manually. So these are, I will say, very, very simple things which people can do, people should do, and we want our customers to use because it is going to make your life easier. And ultimately, nobody wants that, we have teams doing, in a way, I will say, some of these unproductive works when you can automate it and be much more efficient. So this is what we have done in case of rule engine. And because we have our own controllers, we have our own OS, for us to come with any kind of future creative rules, any kind of scenarios, based on whatever feedback we get from end customers or people sitting in the room. We are constantly trying to revise the scenarios and give the power in your hands to see that how you improve your operations. Yeah, so I think this was about RMS and this is something which we are really proud of, completely done in-house. All the logics defined by our engineers and naturally based on the feedback of people like you who are in this room in terms of what you want from Exicom chargers. Because only Exicom can do it. This was marketing. But yeah, now I would like to invite Anant on stage, and of course, Anant, yeah, please, just as a recap of, whatever we told. And there are a lot of other things which naturally during the course of next few days, will be explaining in detail to all of you and naturally to people who are not even present in this room, because we want to essentially set the bar higher. When you are looking for a charger, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a charger? Which I, as a customer, 6 years back, I was looking for a charger. So I told my procurement team, get me a charger. 2 years down the line, I realized I want something more. I do not want a charger. I want a device which functions, a device which helps me manage my operations better. We have become wiser. So in 2025, are you looking for a charger or you are looking for something else? Thanks, Anil.
No, that was also marketing. No, I just want to sum it up. These are not the full list of features, so you can definitely visit the charger at the back talk to us regarding regarding a lot more features. But today what we showed you were about 8 or 9 features in these 3 buckets: reliability, improved station economics, and superior user experience. As far as station economics is concerned, we talked about low reactive power, and more importantly, we talked about Harmony Net, which allows you to pool power from chargers, dynamically allocate it. For user experience, we talked about new UI, multilingual features, a lot of South languages, some European languages, and these ergonomic plug holders, backlit customizable logos, ambient light, real-time SoC bars on the sides to see from a distance what percentage of charging is done, and a few more features. As far as reliability is concerned, we talked about advanced fault diagnostics, remote management systems, rule engine. Anshuman talked about 2 simple rules, but heavily impactful. But you can create really complex rules. If X alarm happens and Y alarms happen, and if C status happens, then do this, or create another alarm, or create this alarm which should only go to the senior management. Or you can do absolutely creative things with those rule engine, which will go a long way in reliability. So hope you liked it. Would love to see this in hands of customers like yourself in your network to really see proof of pudding, and hopefully better reliability and experience for everyone. Thank you. Picture abhi baki hai. We have global product also.
Sorry.
But
Anand, please be here. I mean, normally we try to steal the thunder. And today I have stolen thunder of my CTO PM Singh. Try very confidently explaining features as if I have developed them. I would like to call my R&D team on stage, because these are the guys who have been creating these cutting edge technologies. Please be on stage, R&D team. So we have a very large R&D team, but we have few of members available with us today. So for people who do not know, Mr. PM Singh is our CTO. Yeah, PM Singh, again, everybody knows, but yeah, still, yeah.
So when I'm with R&D, I'm also R&D.
So I'm the one who's outside, right?
And so you are not one out.
So just to introduce team members here, Larry looks after mechanical design. So, Karthikeyan, whom you need to speak to, right? Lakan has designed the complete mechanicals around the same. Jana is our RMS architect. Jana is our firmware and embedded system lead. Jana is based out of Bangalore, so everything we do in software is done by Jana. So any new feature we want, any kind of rules we want in RMS, Jana spearheads that. Vinod leads our DC charging. Shreya is our custodian of all the customer requests in terms of trying to understand what customer wants, and then how do we do with the R&D team support. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for taking us through. Thank you for making us explore this amazing product that we have. And you've seen the R&D team. You've seen a lot of innovation has gone through. Reliability, sustainability. We've taken care of everything. And now after the Harmony Direct 2.0, which is global engineering, which is being curated to meet the Indian market, the Indian expectations. Now we'll move to the next breakthrough, ladies and gentlemen. This is just the beginning. We are here to create yet another benchmark. We are super excited to take the next step in this journey, and it's the time to introduce the next breakthrough. Ladies and gentlemen, I want all of you to put your attention here. We will be unveiling the Triflex from Tritium. This is a symbol of what's possible when change happens on a global scale. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready. Put your attention here as we unveil Tritium Triflex. Put your hands together, ladies and to Triflex from Tritium. Yes! yet another milestone at a global scale, at a global level. Great, and now that we've seen, do we have another video to be played? Can we have the video, please? Oh, that's it, okay, this is the only video. Great, so you've seen the product, and now again, it's the time to understand it closely. So for that, I would once again like to invite Anand on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, join your hands as we welcome Anand once again on the stage to take us deep.
So Triflex is a distributed charging system. You see the dispenser over here. The power cubes are at back of the room, which you'll get a chance to see after this presentation. And this is something which has been in works at Tritium for last almost 4 years, has finally manifested into this next generation distributed charging technology, which was unveiled at one of the key exhibitions, a key conference in US and California, got a lot of fanfare, got a lot of attention, and we are really proud to be bringing this to India today. Triflex is not just an incremental improvement, but a fundamental reimagining of what distributed charging architecture is. What can scale efficiently at the speed of coming demand in the market. Today, if you see most of the charging infrastructure, even the distributed one, that was built on yesterday's EVs market demand. Most of the systems can accommodate only up to 8 charging points per power cabinet. They require massive grid upgrades for expansion and cannot efficiently serve the diversity of the vehicles, right from a large truck to a small compact vehicle. With Triflex, you can invest in a smaller system today and then scale to almost 1.6 megawatt of AC power and 3.2 megawatts of DC power output. Yes, so this system with the power cube, with modular expansion blocks, can support up to 3.2 megawatt of DC output, which is huge, right? So some of the bus operators, if you have more than 20 charge points requirement at a depot, or some of the fleet companies where I've seen they put more than 50 to 80 chargers in a fleet depot. This could be an apt solution to not only reduce your capex but increase your ROI in the long term. Let's deep dive into some of the features of Triflex as well. These are much shorter, so don't worry, I know it's been a long presentation. Oops. The first feature that I would like to talk about is IP65 liquid cool charging technology. Tritium is the only company in the world, now Huawei has come up with a product, but it's one of the only 2 companies, but a leader amongst those 2 companies, to provide liquid cool charging technology and IP65 sealed charger. What does this mean? This means the engineering, unlike conventional air-cooled system, does not depend on high-speed fans, but it depends upon totally sealed charger, which are cooled using a special liquid running to cool not only the charge cables, but all the power electronics inside the system. Which means no more dust, no more moisture, no more effect of high heat or Arctic cold on your charger. This can improve the life of the charger by many years. Today, some of the most basic issues we face in the chargers or even our rectifiers is accumulation of dust, the filters not cleaned, the fan choking. None of those troubles exist with this kind of technology. It also works from minus 35 to plus 55 degrees thanks to liquid cooling. The next point I want to talk about is silent operation. This is a really important factor, definitely in the West, but even in India. Personally, if you ask me, what do I hate most about the charger? When I go close to it, particularly the high power chargers, it sounds like I'm in close to an airplane. The only other time I hear so much noise is when you're coming out of an aircraft because of the high-speed fans. But because of the liquid cool technology, the audible noise here is very, very low. Even a 1.6 megawatt charger, or anything from 400 kilowatt to 1.6 megawatt, almost has silent operation which you cannot hear. So ideal for deployment in commercial areas, IT parks, even residential areas, not like houses, but large residential communities. If that's a requirement, this could be really helpful. Third point I want to talk about is megawatt level scalability. When you see the power cubes at the back, they come in two modules. One is an AC-DC cabinet, one is a DC-DC cabinet. These cabinets can be expanded. Similar looking cabinet can be put next to each other to expand the system, beginning from 400 kilowatt all the way to 1.6 megawatt of AC power and 3.2 megawatt of DC power. In the visuals, you can see how the expansion is taking place. Now, the next point, because we are putting so much power in single power unit, it also allows us to be very compact. The compactness is driven by the power density. The power density is driven by the modules which are inside the charger. These are latest generation technology modules which work on silicon carbide, liquid cooling, and they have almost 35 watt per inch cube of power density, which allows us to get to a density of 512 kilowatt per meter squared for the entire system. This is the world's most compact system at this power level. Anything above megawatt scale, this is the most compact charger in the world. It's even better power density, or the footprint is even better than the recently launched HYC100 by Alpetronic. There are some more features, and I would like to invite my colleague Simon to talk about those features. Oh, sorry.
Okay, down here. Thank you. Thank you very much, Anant. So, I'd just like to walk you through some of the additional features that make Triflex the ultimate solution for charge point operators and EV chargers. So, let's go. We need to move on to scalability. It's the first one I'd like to talk about. So, Triflex is really built for growth. Okay, so we learned that the system can be expanded to, 3.2 megawatts of DC power, but what does that really mean? How can that be used? So the charger, look, we can support between 4 and 64 charge points, 64 charge points in one system, okay, enabling operators to start small and expand seamlessly as demand rises. Here in India, where EV adoption is surging across passenger cars and commercial fleets, this modularity is a game changer. Really, it is a game changer. Okay? Imagine a small charging station at a tier 2 city mall scaling into a high-capacity hub. As EV usage grows, all without really replacing the core infrastructure. Okay. The next I'd like to talk about is dynamic power allocation. Triflex's intelligent power management sets it apart with 25 kilowatts of power sharing resolution and real-time, second-by-second load balancing between all dispensers. What does that mean? Well, it means that energy can be dynamically allocated based on each vehicle's needs, optimizing efficiency, reducing waste. Charging stations often serve a mix of small and large four-wheelers, delivery vans, larger commercial vehicles. And this feature maximizes station throughput. For instance, a high-demand station can prioritize power to a truck needing a quick top-up while still serving smaller vehicles effectively and efficiently. This smart technology lowers operating costs and enhances the user experience, making Triflex a win-win for operators and drivers. Thirdly, I want to talk about flexibility. Triflex, that's its name, right? Flexibility. Triflex is designed for ultimate adaptability, integrating effortlessly with existing systems and supporting advanced energy solutions like battery storage. So on a technical level, there's an internal DC bus, okay, that's accessible for power connectivity. So when directly coupled with an ESS, an energy storage system, a highly efficient DC microgrid is created, and that opens up the ability to continue normal functioning even when grid stability would otherwise pose challenges. A Triflex station paired with a battery storage system could also perhaps store solar energy during the day and deliver reliable charging at nighttime, even off-grid. So it's compatibility with DC microgrids. It's enabling operators to create resilient, localized energy networks, ideal for remote areas or industrial sites, really anywhere. So, good, yeah, so a summary on this. So Triflex is not just a charging platform, it's a cornerstone for India's electrified future. With its scalable architecture, high power performance, intelligent energy management, cost efficiency, unmatched flexibility, Triflex empowers operators to build charging networks that grow with the EV revolution. So the next short presentation, the next short video just summarizes, puts all of those features that we've talked about together, and I'll just play that, and it just shows you really what Triflex is.
Thank you, Simon, for taking us through. Well, I'm sure all your answers are being served. Well, so much to offer, so much to learn, and But for now, since you've seen both the products, it's the time to take a quick 10 minutes break. Please be back here in 10 minutes, as towards the other side, we have 2 fireside chats that will talk about what is the demand in the sector. We will talk about what EV customers really want. So towards the other side, we have 2 fireside chats and a special surprise for all of you. See you all in 10 minutes. Please have refreshments meanwhile. Stretch yourself a bit. And see you all in 10. And this is just a break. After the break, we have fireside chat. That will be followed by dinner and drinks. So please do attend the fireside chat. And we have someone who is very special who will be taking over the stage. And then post that, the dinner and the drinks. Ladies and gentlemen, requesting you all to kindly join us back in. I request you all to kindly join us back inside. We are about to begin with the fireside chat on the topic on what do EV customers really want? So requesting you all to kindly join us back in as we are about to begin. Requesting all of you to kindly join us back inside. If you can hear me, this is a call for all of you to kindly come back in, take your seats and settle down. Ladies and gentlemen, requesting you all to kindly join us back inside. I request you all to kindly join us back in. We will be starting with the fireside chat now. I request all of you to kindly join us back inside. We are about to begin with the fireside chat. I request all of you to kindly join us back inside. Our leaders are here and we are all set to start the fireside chat. Please join us back in. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is the time to understand that what do EV customers really want? Now, as we move towards the second part of this evening, it's time to dive into some insightful conversations about the future of our industry. Well, we all aim at growth, and we have our top industry leaders to talk about a very important topic that talks about what do EV customers really want. And we have eminent panelists here seated on this stage. With us, ladies and gentlemen, now we have our moderator for the session. You've heard her before also. Please put your hands together for our moderator, Khushbu Chawla. Can we have a round of applause? In the panel with us, we have Mr. Kedar Apte, Business Head and Chief of Operations for Mahindra and Mahindra. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Next with us, we have Mr. Karthike Haryani, Managing Director of Charge Zone. Please put your hands together. Warm welcome to you, sir. And with us, we have Mr. Avdesh Kumar Jha, Executive Director for Glida India. Put your hands together. Warm welcome to you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to hear this discussion on what do EV customers really want. Over to you, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. I hope you guys are feeling better after the break. It was a long session. We don't intend to bore you quite a bit because I think this conversation is going to be very interesting for all of us. Earlier I spoke about user experience and all the user-centric features, and now, it has come in a full circle. Now I'm going to be talking to these industry leaders about the same topic. So the topic is, what do EV customers really want? I think the focus here is on really, because we somewhat know what they really want, but I think we want to get deeper into that question. So we will discuss charging patterns, range anxiety, user expectation, and cost challenges. All these topics are relevant for the industry and also relevant for the EV users. So, I have two questions for you, but they are not easy. They're very pointed. I have two questions for you. And I'll go round the table so that each one of you can share your perspective on those questions. So the first one is, coming directly diving into the topic. The first one is, what are the biggest misconceptions OEMs, CPOs, and even regulators have about EV users today? How is the ground reality surprising you? And looking at the expression on Avdesh's face, I think I'm, sir, going to start with you.
I mean, see, every day we face those surprises from the customer. But, the bottom line, what we hear from the customer is primarily that the chargers are not reliable. That's the biggest concern the customer are having, that when they see on the app, the chargers is online. But then when they go to the charging stations, they find that charger is not functioning. This is one of the major concerns which the customers raise. And that's good to see, when Anshuman was presenting about the reliability. That's a very important features to have, because, see, as a CPO, we are fully dependent on the charger OEM, because it's the product ultimately that has to deliver. And that has to meet the expectation of the customer. So good to see that OEMs is now listening to the customer's feedback, listening to the requirement of the customer, and coming up with these things. So, but I think to answer your question, that the surprise was regarding the reliability, that's the major concerns, and something to the power availability, which nobody can solve, in this room. Nobody can solve the problem of the power reliability, but then whatever concerns we have from the customers, that we are able to address it through the product now, like which Exicom Harmony 2.0 is trying to do.
Very nice. So reliability has come out on the top, and then power availability is the second thing which you think is out of the ambit of people in this room. Karthikeya, what is your perspective?
I think, first of all, congratulations to Team Exicom. And before I add to what Avdish said, I just want to share that yesterday on a Bangalore-Chennai highway, we successfully implement an auto charge function for an electric truck using an Exicom charger. So thanks a lot. Thank you, Team Exicom, for that. And very often said that engineers work hard and others make money. It was really heartening to see the entire R&D team being honored today at the dais. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I think I think Avdish, myself, also other peers in the industry, have moved from range anxiety to reliability anxiety, right? So that's what Avdish just mentioned. From my side, I think, just to add there, it's more on the accessibility part of it now, right? So there was a very interesting thing Priyank mentioned, Priyank Agarwal. He said that people used to stop to charge, right? And now they said, well, if they stop, they may want to charge, right? So it's a different dynamic emerging into the EV charging infra space as we speak on, as more and more EV adoption happens on the personal mobility as well as on the commercial mobility side. But having said that, I think the accessibility part is what many of us are trying to solve. In other words, great locations, good amenities, and on top of that, the never-ending question about the competitiveness. So obviously there was a 14 rupees per unit, obviously, and me and and Ruben were just discussing that, what should be the price, starting next quarter. But as we grow, there's one thing for sure, that an EV owner has now overcome the part of what you call the pricing mindset. I don't think he needs free anymore. He actually needs reliability, the reliable EV charging experience, and EV charging as an experience itself. And that's where product like Exicom Harmony, and I must say, and congratulate Anant, Anshuman and the team. We have seen Exicom chargers in 2018, 2019. I've been one of the early customers as well. But when you see a product like this, we talk about accessibility, not about the location, but also the real kind of on-field experience as a EV owner. When a charging station is unmanned, what you do with that? And several problems that we, as a CPO, we solve, like auto charge is one function that we solve. And just to say that while companies like Exicom have stepped up the game, I'd also request the OEMs now to step up, because there are new features like plug and charge to be adopted as well. Yeah, so that's my take so far. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So reliability, accessibility, and what do we have from you, Kedar?
Yeah, I just want to add one dimension. First of all, I'm sitting next to OGs of the industry, so a bit nervous, but I will just add my perspective. I think a lot of customers that are coming into category are new to the category, right? And they're very anxious. And I'll just tell you an anecdote, right? Because a lot of customers are not educated about EV charging. And since they're anxious, their first instinct is, this is not working. Charger is not working, right? And we installed a charger in our office, and I get a message on Monday morning, charger is not working, right? And there's panic because the message came from someone senior. And you know what the issue was? The charger was switched off like a fan was, okay? So the conclusion was charger was not working. Then, okay, charger was working. Second complaint, charger started working and stopped in 30 minutes. And what was the reason? Because that person had selected a cycle of 30 minutes, right? So I think a lot of customers are very, very anxious, and we as OEMs as well as CPOs have a responsibility to educate customers before they start dismissing, saying chargers don't work, especially for the new customers.
True. And I think what do EV chargers really want? A clear storyline emerged. I mean, first you said that EV chargers, people want EV chargers to be accessible. Then if they are accessible, they need to be reliable. And if they are both accessible and reliable, then the customer just needs to do needs to be educated on what he needs to do with the charger. So essentially, accessibility, reliability, and education of the customer. Very nice. Now we move on to the second question. Again, we'll go around the table now in a different direction. In India's price-sensitive market, is the EV charging experience being sacrificed at the altar of cost? How do we reframe this equation? I know that, Karthikeya, you've touched upon this a little bit, but detailed thoughts on this, please. Kedar,
Okay.
please start.
So right now, I would say it depends on the CPOs, but in general, yes. But that initial phase is over now, and then people are realizing that convenience and customer experience is more important than pricing. And you are doing a session on customer expectations now. I wish you had done it earlier because you have answered most of the customer concerns anyway through what you've launched today. So I think now people, OEMs as well as CPOs, understand the importance of customer experience, features, so reliability, convenience, safety, just more than price. So to answer your question, yes, but it is changing very fast.
Okay. So.
Yeah, I think let's move further. Why a CPO and OEM? A lot has been talked about ecosystem, and unfortunately, ecosystem itself has become a very abused word these days. Yeah, but let's look at a practicality. We saw some of the OEMs when they launched the OCPI integration. Various networks of various CPOs was brought onto the common app by various OEMs such as Hyundai, MG, even Mahindra now, and so on. The question that we are trying to ask ourselves, beyond integration, how do we engage the customer now? Because what we have seen, at least over the last 90 days as Charge Zone, for the very first time, it was an event that we were waiting for, that the utilization increased on a double digit in terms of percentage, with a cutoff of 31st Jan as a network. Let's say, assuming clap. No, thank you. And thanks to OEMs like Mahindra, of course, creating the whole new benchmark of EVs in the country. But the engagement, and then we saw that effect was slightly going retro, going to MG Motors, for example. Yeah. So their eHub app, the eHub app was, eHub as an app was meant for a bundling of, let's say, not free charging, but a competitive price charging, where MG Motors, for example, would have given, instead of a free accessory, will say, well, you have free miles or free kilometers, or let's say discounted kilometers, for a period of 1 year. Yeah. So likewise, if such opportunities can be integrated between CPOs and an OEM, I think a customer will get further confidence by buying an EV. And after buying an EV, they are moving what you call as a EV as a first car. So over the 90 days, for the first time, we took some random interview sampling and all. And for the first time, we realized that an EV owner was driving intercity, trusting that, yes, this can be now my first car. If I have to travel from Delhi to Jaipur or even Delhi to Dehradun, for example, I will take an EV. So I think that is a mega behavioral shift that we are gradually observing into the market.
See, on the price competitiveness, obviously CPO would always look for the price as low as possible. But I think this is a phenomena which CPO would be more worried maybe for next 1 or 2 years. Because at this stage, most of the EV charging utilization is coming from the fleet. And fleet has their own challenges, that why they want operating cost very low. But if you talk to any individual customer, they don't mind paying you a few rupees extra, as long as their charging experience is seamless, the charger is reliable. And we strongly believe that in the ultimate scenarios, is the individual car owners. They will be the main user of the charging stations, not the fleet. Fleet would be like the petrol stations today. So they will be driving to any charging stations and doing the charging. So once that situation comes, and I believe that it will be 2.5 years, but the way the battery price is falling, probably it will be quicker. So at that point of time, CPO would be much more willing to pay extra on the good quality products, right? Because then you have the ability to extract more money from the customer for offering a premium services, a good charging experience. And that's what the individual look for. So I see from that point of view that initial years, probably both CPO and OEMs has to work as a partner, trade-off on either side, and then all the good products will command a good premium in years to come.
Okay, thank you so much, all three of you. I think this was a very direct question, and I think you guys have not beaten around the bush and given a very direct and a very solid answer on how the equation is changing. So we are very clear that yes, the equation is changing. A, the customers are asking for that experience. B, maybe there is synergy between OEMs and CPOs, but it needs to increase. And C, of course, the balance between fleet users and individual EV owners possibly is also starting to tilt. So yes, the equation is changing. Good news for the industry. And on that note, I really want to thank you for coming up here and sharing your thoughts. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for a very insightful discussion. I'm sure we all have made our points. Great. Thank you. Thank you once again. Well, this was the first fireside chat. We have yet another fireside chat, and we hope that you all are enjoying the energy, enjoying the evening, and enjoying the energy of this room. So let's begin our second fireside chat. This is also on a very important topic that will talk about uptime, reliability, and building trust in charging networks. So let me first introduce our moderator for the session, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together for Mr. Anshuman Divyanshu. Can we have a round of applause? And joining him will be our panelists, Mr. Rubin Pather, Chief Operations Officer for GeoBP Pulse. A warm welcome to you, sir. Ms. Neha Jain, Head of Electric Vehicles and Innovation Ecosystem at MG Motors. Mr. Akhil Venkateshwaran, Director and CTO of Xeon Charging. And yes, let's have a round of applause. Mr. Srihari Mulgun, Partner at EY. Warm welcome to you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the topic on uptime, reliability, and building trust in changing networks. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, in fact, this is a very, very relevant panel because with relevant participants. So we are talking about trust, and we touched about reliability, and everybody in industry is talking about reliability. Now, if you look at globally, and we look at some of the similar industries or industries which have evolved. I mean, my first question to the group is as public chargers scale, what sort of accountability frameworks should happen? So whether we are looking for a self-regulation in terms of uptime, we want a government-enforced uptime, which we have seen happening in some of the countries, whether there has to be a carrot and stick approach for for CPOs or companies who are providing higher uptime compared to people who are not providing enough uptime. So yeah, I mean, in essence, is it about self-regulation or is it about a government-imposed regulation which we want to happen for the overall reliability to improve? So maybe Akhil, I'll start with you.
Hi, good evening. First off, congrats Anshuman and Anand, a whole Lexicom team. Great event. We are really enjoying ourselves. Anyway, so to answer your question, so as true blue capitalists, most of us are in the room, the least regulation that we have would be the better, right? So when we are talking about charging infrastructure and uptime, self-regulating would be the only way to go, because for a CPO to actually profit out of that investment, he will automatically ensure uptime, right? So if there is a wrong approach in terms of hardware, installation, whatever it is, and for whatever reason there is no uptime, it's a loss-making dead asset, end of the day, whatever period of time the charger is down. So I would believe that self-regulation would be the best way to go. And this will eventually weed out the good, average, bad service providers. I mean, everybody's learning, right? Even we are learning, we also have made mistakes. There is downtime. So we learn from that experience, we kind of figure out what is the ideal combination, what is the way to fix the problems from the experience that we have had. This automatically brings out a natural increase in uptime and reliability in the network, right? So, long answer, but short of it is self-regulation.
Is
yes.
the thing.
Yeah.
Is what you are hinting at.
Correct.
But yeah, over to you, Robin.
Not hinting at, rooting for.
Rooting for.
The good thing about this panel, I must tell you, firstly, thanks for showing us all these great features that you're introducing. There hasn't been any questions that have been set up. Normally you come to a panel and they always ask you some questions. We're going to talk about this. So to the member of the panel on the left, I'm afraid that I have a different view. I think we are in a challenging time at this point. In India, we just got about 250,000 cars on the road. China sold 11 million cars last year. In Europe or across the globe, we have 17 million cars that got sold. So one, we are trying to get the customer to buy that bloody car, right? So we have to give some confidence. Secondly, we're up against a growing fuels market. Now I can talk for GOBP because we sell aviation, we sell liquid fuels, we sell CBG, sell CNG, right? And when I'm running EV, I got my competitors on my left-hand side of the leadership team meeting, okay? Who wants to sell more liquid fuels than I want to sell electrons, okay? So it's a real challenge. So that's the second challenge we're trying to solve. How do we get the customer to be confident that when I come to charge, the charger will be there. When I look at the app, when I get to drive out there, the charger is working, right? So unless we can solve these problems, we're going to sit in this 2% market penetration, which is really bad for the industry. So we've got to shift the game. So if I would assert, that I would have an opposing view that we may have to have some regulation around this. So if you're not above 95% uptime, then there should be some penalty up till you get to that point. All right. Why do I say this? If we're going to then disappoint the customer each time the customer comes to the charger, then, they say the word of mouth is the best salesman you can have. Right. People say, I don't believe in the charging infrastructure in India. I don't think that, I could trust it. When I get to a fuel pump, there's this pump attendant that comes running to me. I don't even have to get out of my car. My car is filled up. Now when I get out of my car, it's pouring with rain. I go there, I try to connect, it doesn't work, the screen doesn't work. All that frustrates the customer. So therefore, if we really want to jack this industry up, I would go for, let's put a minimum, uptime, and let's see where it goes. I mean, let's leave that for 5 years. I also don't believe in regulation, right? I believe in self-regulation. But I think, unless we're going to start, selling 14,000 vehicles, a month, and where we need to get to 100,000, we need to be firm about this in this industry. That's my view, and unfortunately it's a contrarian
absolutely,
view.
Robin, and as a moderator, I love it, It's 1-1, right? One Akhil, one you, right? So now let's see how the panel, where the panel is going for, right? So let's move on to Srihari. Yes, Srihari, what are your views on this?
Do you have a vote in this? Because we are 4.
A charger OEM is the most neutral person in the overall ecosystem. I need to work with all of you.
So first and foremost, I think congratulations to Anant and Anshuman on this wonderful launch. I think kudos to, I think the technology upgrade that you're getting on a lot of these chargers. I think That's the first. I think in terms of should we be self-regulated versus government regulation, my view is it's largely, we are in an environment where companies are interested in making money, right? And if you're interested in really making money, being a charge point operator or an OEM who is building these products, you will focus on the most critical aspect of the charging ecosystem, which is the uptime, which is basically the reliability, right? And I don't think any government intervention is required, right? Any good charge point operator, any OEM will now focus on ensuring the reliability of these chargers, the uptime of these chargers. And let's not forget, we are very early in our journey on EVs. I think when I hear a lot of these conversations about, oh, this is not working, that's working, let's be sure we are just 4 years into our journey, right? This is, and let's not compare ourselves to China. China has been doing this for like quote unquote donkey years, like 20 years they've been doing it. And honestly, even Europe hasn't got it right, even the US has not got it right, right? So I think we are going through a journey. And what I honestly believe is, I think there is so much of entrepreneurial spirit in India that we will solve the problems, right? And the companies will solve these problems for themselves because all of these companies are really interested in making money and growing big. And so my vote is largely on ensuring that you don't bring too much of government regulations and intervene where areas where you don't really need to do. And I don't think these uptime or reliability is going to solve penetration issues. Penetration issues have other elements associated with it. But if the ecosystem can work together, I truly believe that we will have the right uptime, the companies will work together, and the penetrations over the years will also increase, basically.
No, you brought in, I think, some right set of things, that it is not only about reliability, because reliability may not necessarily mean the way we are looking, for people to buy cars. It is one of the ways and means, and yeah, that's why we are talking about trust, because reliability and trust go hand in hand in many cases. But over to you, Neha. I mean, everybody is looking at you. What is Neha going to say? But yeah, please carry on.
So good evening, everyone, and first of all, many congratulations to Team Exicom, Anant and Anshuman. I think, today when I came for this event, it truly shows how we are evolving as an industry, as a segment, and we are witnessing these futuristic products now as part of the portfolio. Coming to this question, self-regulation or government, I agree with my fellow panelists here that, we need to have uptime, which is a high uptime. But I would like to add my perspective more from a OEM, which I represent, because CPOs, I know, because when you are in a business, everybody is investing energy, capex, and business are meant to succeed if the chargers are up and running, and that will build the confidence. Only input, 2 cents that I would like to add from a customer perspective, that, somewhere down the line, the uptime ensures reliability in the infrastructure. And we have seen cases where a customer is going on a highway journey with a family at odd hours, and at that time, and sometimes it also happens that, your app is showing a charger live, but when you go there, the charger is physically not working. This is a crisis situation, which then reduces the confidence in terms of infra and EV adoption. So I think first step, as the charging point companies themselves, they are taking this responsibility. So self-regulation is definitely required. And as more and more companies will start owning towards it, you also see that now customers also have a clear idea in their mind. They trust reliability with the partners. And every company I think are at a different stage. So companies which are more evolved, more widely spread, the reliability factors are higher. And obviously the new players who are coming into the segment, they have some teething challenges. So yes, so I would say as a business, self-regulation is mandatory, is hygiene. Everybody needs to do that. At this stage, since we are evolving, I am not sure we need a government regulation right now. But yes, from a customer experience perspective, we definitely need it from a charging partner.
So that's true, Neha. So generally, I think, even Rubin, to a certain extent, believes that self-regulation is the way to go. But at the same time, considering that industry is at a nascent stage, maybe, having some sort of a high-level supervisory guidelines in terms of, what should be the minimum basic uptime which any charger or a CPU should offer to the customer should be maintained. Because we have also been seeing that overall in the industry, there are many CPOs, who had to shut shop because they were not able to maintain the basic hygiene or reliability at their charging station, which of course is not good for the overall industry in general, right? So some amount of regulation, and of course, with government pouring in a lot of money in infra space, there is a possibility and there is a situation which naturally can happen in foreseeable future when government will want to have certain set level standards, like it is happening in maybe in Europe, in US, it's already happening. And because everybody wants the industry to grow. So yeah, maybe there is no right answer or wrong answer, but it starts from self-regulation. Because once you start self-regulating yourself, then a lot of things happen. Thanks. I think this is pretty insightful in terms of how everybody is looking at the ecosystem. But yeah, when we talk about trust, in general, trust is always about charger uptime. Because finally it boils down to charger uptime. But if we speak to customers, it's not only about charger uptime. So I just wanted to know from all of you, like, what are the invisible things, things which do not get highlighted, but they go a long way in building trust. Something like payment failing. It's not a charger issue, it's not a charger reliability issue. Or, a network issue. Or even an issue around safety, that, the stations are unmanned. If I go during the night, whether, am I feeling safe to operate a charger, which is located on a highway with nobody being around in the vicinity? So what are those, I will say, silent things which, go in the minds of customer, which they want, which they feel, because trust is built on multiple pillars. Uptime is one of them. So what are some of the key pillars as per the panel? So maybe, we'll start with Rubin first.
So at least that he can oppose me. No, but I think it's a fairly straightforward question, this, because look, at this moment in time, I think if you're looking at B2B customers, all service, most CPOs in the room here servicing a lot of B2B customers, be very clear with the B2B customers. I think we have that engagement with the customer at all times, so we can understand the customer. I think with the B2C, we're a little bit in the dark territory, right? So we need to then work out what does this customer want. And in GeoBP, we do a lot of marketing surveys. We test that quite often, right? And to try to make sure that we satisfy that. But I think if you look at there's some really basic stuff, I think, at this moment in time that your B2C customer wants. One, I think they need to make sure that when they get there, the charger works, which we talked about uptime, right? The charger has to work, right? It's most frustrating. But if the charger doesn't work, they need to get some help immediately. So, if you've got a call center, you have something that can direct you to someone that can help you immediately, whether it's payment, that's an important thing. The other thing that we found, and we've done a lot of research, right? And because our network is big enough, we can then sample sites across the country and see, what is the customer wanting. 24/7 access, very, very important. The moment you denied access, this is very frustrating for the customer. So we're trying to make sure that we have access all the time. And I think the third one, I would say, the customer has this anxiety. When I go to a fuel site, I have about 8 pumps to pick and choose, right? When I come here to the site, I'm not sure, right? Will someone else beat me? The app may be saying this, but I'm not trusting this app, right? So I think they're also looking for this certainty that when I get to this location, I will get a bay to charge. So that is what our research is showing, that the customer needs these 3 things to be fulfilled.
Very apt, Rubin. In fact, there are many chargers, which have been set up in malls, right? Chargers are up and running. When a customer goes there at the night, the mall is closed. So then the whole uptime and reliability issue goes for a toss, because then accessibility comes into play, because there is a charger which is up and running, but you are not able to access, and you are really required to, charge your vehicle. Where do you go? So it's a very relevant point which you brought up. But yeah, I mean, yes, now I will allow Akhil. I'm trying to be like Arnav, in terms of trying to create a fight, but that's not the intention. The idea, of course, naturally is to, always have a counter view, because that always helps a very, very healthy discussion. Akhil, over to you.
Right. So, invisible, specifically your query, what are the, beyond the obvious things, what does a customer want, right? As a CPO, even we ended up learning a lot of things. The basic assumption when we got to a certain level was that everybody would know how to use a charger, right? Everybody would know how to use an app, right? So we kind of realized there are a certain set of customers who are not necessarily tech conversant or are not very comfortable with using or even interacting with HMIs. There is a lot of, I wouldn't say intimidation, but there's hesitancy, I would say, right? So these were a lot of invisible kind of learnings that we picked up along the way. Just how do we make, Ruben mentioned access, right? This is also part of the access. We are trying to make the charging experience more inclusive across segments. Because we can't assume that only the tech conversant people are buying vehicles, right? Everybody buys these cars. So how do we cater to them? These are the few things, or at least a couple of things that we try to address when we are designing a station or rolling out updates on the app or trying to deduce features like, for example, auto charge, maybe in the future plug-in charge as well. And I was very happy to see that the multiple language feature is up and introduced. So this is going to be very useful. So long story short, inclusivity is something that was an invisible learning for us. Something invisible that we didn't immediately pick up on. How to make the whole experience more inclusive across segments of motorists, basically. Apart from that, like the availability of basic amenities. So, we just hooked up, we roll out a few dozen, maybe hundreds of chargers, across locations that we think are really good, really great, but then we are mostly on highways. So local conditions are different. Operating hours, Ruben touched upon, I think. But would the basic amenities still be available? Like, let's say somebody turns up at 2 a.m. and the restaurant is shut, right? What about the restroom? If there's a possibility of even drinking water available on site. So these are kind of things that really started to play, the feedback that we got, down the line. How do we actually address these issues? It's not an easy problem. These are not easy problems to solve, but nonetheless, it has to be done. We need to figure it out going forward. Everybody, at least. Yeah.
No, that's true, Akhil. But I think, Neha, again, from an OEM perspective, what has your experience been in this space in terms of understanding what customers want?
Yeah, so I'll not repeat what Ruben and Akhil already covered. I think these are mandatory, these are hygiene. I'll just add few more inputs, from a perspective of both intra-city chargers and intercity. I'll share an insight on both. So when it talks about intra-city, right? So most of the charging anyways is happening at home also, because home charging forms a major part. But who are the people who are using chargers intra-city? And again, I'm not touching B2B or fleet customers here, but for a normal usage, we have seen that many a times people also send their drivers and chauffeurs, to charge in the meantime. So, like Akhil rightly said, education, awareness about it. Many a times there's a charger, there's a make, but there are a lot of times query is come that, which app to download. And if even that basic information is not available, so it becomes really confusing for that poor guy to understand which app to download or, how to log in and all. When it comes to intercity, obviously hygiene, restrooms, safety and all is required. Here, one point I would like to focus on is due diligence on the sites. Again, I will say here, there are evolved players, mature players who are doing proper due diligence on highways, on locations where customer can stop safely and charge. But we have also seen cases where, you are going on a highway and maybe not a very popular highway, you will get a charging point, but that will be away from your highway location. And that location might not be very well, connected and safe. So I think in those cases, due diligence and all can also be an added factor, which can add to the reliability of the charging station.
Oh, yeah, fair point. And Shri, I mean, I would like you to, essentially sum up, maybe in terms of a very quick summary of what do you feel is.
I think if you look at what trust is a combination of 4 things, right? It is about reliability. It is essentially about the support that you get. It is about transparency and doing it again and again and again, right? Which is consistency. Right? These 4 ingredients essentially build trust, and it is not a matter that you do it one day and forget to do the next day. The consistency is extremely important, and that is the only way forward for the charging ecosystem. And I truly believe that between the OEMs and the charge point operators and the equipment manufacturers, I think this problem will be solved. I think it is just not about if, it is just about when, basically.
No, thanks, Shri, and thanks to all the panel members. I think some pretty insightful thoughts and some food for thoughts as well for all of us, right? But yeah, without, delaying further time, we have some interesting events lined up, So let's move on and, again, enjoy the evening and at the same time do more networking amongst each other, right? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you for a very insightful discussion. Great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and as I've mentioned that this evening will be full of surprises, full of exciting memories. Today with us, we have somebody very special. Well, we all know that, the best way to bring people in harmony is by smiling at each other. Next up, we have one of India's finest comedians with comedy specials on Netflix, Amazon Prime, and YouTube. He is also an actor, having played lead in films across Bollywood and Norwegian cinema. Earlier this year, he debuted as an author, and his very first published novel, Acts of God, is a national bestseller, having sold 40,000 copies in just India alone. But I think we all know whom we are talking about. Well, he's also got famous with his web series called Pretentious Movie Reviews. Any guesses? Any guesses? Any guesses? Yeah?